today is Paul Barrett, the CEO of Rome Resources. Paul, good to be speaking to you after the company has announced you've hit multi-metre high-grade tin at depth at your Kalayi project. How are things?
Yes, good, Mark. Thanks. So we have been drilling. As I mentioned previously, I think we've got a new drilling supervisor in, and we've got a new Ghanaian drilling crew, etc. And it's all paid off. They've been doing pretty well in terms of progress.
Okay.
So we've got a large number of holes drilled, and we're still drilling now, deep targets. So we have come up with some really good intercepts, as you alluded to there. And I think the comparison with what we've had previously and what we're seeing now in Kalayi is that if you take intercepts of 2 meters of 2% or more, we only had a couple of those in the previous campaigns. Now we've had 5 in the last 7 holes. So it's transformational, I think, in terms of what we're seeing. It's not. I mean, we've said all along that the deeper you go, the wider the intercepts are. It's not a straight line relationship. It generally works that way, but there are actually some shallower ones that we've encountered between the existing intercepts that have been quite good as well. So it's a general relationship, but it's not cut and dried. So we are seeing a lot more than we have previously, and they are getting into the realm of what is seen at the Impama North mine in terms of the widths and the grades of the main vein there.
Okay. Well, last time we spoke, of course, we talked about the recoveries that you were getting there, and things were looking really good on both the tin and the copper recoveries, which will then feed into a flow sheet design effectively. But what you were going to do, I think, was you're looking to build out the resource further and prove the geological model further by drilling deeper to see that if, yes, the geological model is the same, you've got the copper on the top and the tin thickens out further down. So you're now getting that effectively with, you've got 11 meters there at 4.3% tin and 6 meters at 5%. So are you actually seeing exactly what you want to see?
We are on Kalayi. I mean, we'll talk about Montgomery in a moment, but the Kalayi model is definitely pretty straightforward in terms of there is no copper. Well, there's a little bit, but there is no copper to speak of in Kalayi, and so therefore it's a real focus on the tin. But in Montgomery, yes, we have the copper. We have the copper which we see we can recover quite well. The zinc as well. We think we'll see some decent numbers there. So the polymetallic nature of it means that it's slightly more complicated in terms of recovering, but we see we can recover it. And that's a different situation. We don't have, although the tin at Kalayi can go straight through alpha min, it's the same product feedstock. The copper complicates that slightly. So we will be looking at how to advance that, perhaps with another third party rather than through the alpha min train. So that's why that's a little more complicated. We have been doing some geological work on Montgomery. We've been using there's a very large database of full element assays in the Montgomery project, which has not really been used. And we've used them to look at trace elements and zonations, and it pulls out some quite interesting areas where we see some copper targets to the north and some tin targets to the south. So we're just working those up at the moment before working out exactly what to do in terms of the drilling program at Montgomery. Okay. But at the moment we're concentrating, we're still drilling on Kalayi, and we're still drilling vertical deeper holes to intercept the dipping ore shoots at greater depth and see what happens.
So that will continue then effectively. You've got, I think, 2 drill rigs working. That's across both prospects, is that right? And you just continue to drill deeper and see what you get out.
Yeah, both rigs are on Kalayi right now. There is a third rig which is actually idle at the moment on Montgomery, but the activities on Kalayi, we're certainly going to continue on that for the foreseeable. Let's see what we get in the next few holes.
Good. And this will feed into that updated MRE, I think you said around May time?
Yes, yeah. I think it's, if we get more of what we've just seen in Kalayi, those numbers will become a lot more healthy than they were previously. Because, as I say, they were based on very limited, thin intercepts. We're seeing much more now.
Good. Well, every time I speak, you just continue to do what you say you're going to do, and also proving up what you think, right? So there's not much more to go on here. Everything sort of is going as planned. Drilling continues. One thing I want to pick up on though is last time we spoke, you said you were going to Indaba. You've come back from Indaba. I'd like to get a sense of, first of all, what it was like on the ground. I've heard there was lots of people there. It was very, very busy. It's been nice to get a sense of what you felt it was like for the sector in general. But you did mention that you would be perhaps meeting with investors, potential offtake partners, etc. Don't know what you can share on that, but that seems like the most obvious kind of next step, doesn't it, to get outside interest in as you're building this up?
That's right. So yes, so Indaba was good. It was very positive, as you can imagine, with the various commodity prices. It was a very optimistic feel to the place. But interestingly, there was a very optimistic feel about investing in DRC. A lot of companies are starting to move in there, and with the US kind of making moves in there. You know, they see that as a positive in terms of the business environment going forward. So we talked to our friendly off-takers and a number of potential partners. Yes, we continued those discussions, and we will circle back around once the drilling's finished and we know what we've got. So, yeah, it was very productive, and as I said, very positive and very optimistic, and also very sunny. So it was good.
Also, yeah. So effectively now, then, from now until May, is it all about just drilling out this deeper resource?
Yes, a little bit more metallurgy work to do, but it is about firstly pulling in this new interpretation. Well, it's not new interpretation, but it's an enhancement of the interpretation on Montagoma into the model and see where we go there, and also the results from Kalayi drilling. Yeah. Good.
Excellent. And just finally, just for anyone who perhaps is new to the story here, I know you've not got any of the studies out, so we can't really talk definitive resources or any kind of economics, but do you have any idea of what it could be worth, or if we're making a comparison to perhaps Alphamin? I wonder if we can just perhaps set the scene a little bit.
Well, I think you can only go off the lifting costs, or rather the production costs for Alphamin, of around $12,000 to $15,000 a ton, and as we know, the price is way higher than that right now. I mean, I know it's 50,000, but I think that's talking to the traders last week. I think 30 to 40 is a sustainable price going forward, which will still give you, $15,000 to $25,000 a ton margin. So, you could do the maths on that. We don't clearly have the numbers for the updated resources yet, but a simple kind of calculation will give you an idea, a ballpark. I just mentioned that we're having an investor webinar on Thursday, so we will go through everything in a big slide deck and show people what the plan is and what the targets are.
Excellent. Good. And how can people join that?
Well, if you go onto the website, there should be a link there. Investor Hub are running this webinar on Thursday at lunchtime.
Excellent. Good stuff. Well, Paul Barrett, CEO of Realm Resources, thank you very much for joining us today.
Okay. Thanks, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.